Hi, everyone. I'm Jill from Wendy. I'm one of the conference organizers. We're really excited about today's conversation, recruiting startup talent, cracking the code at Codecademy. I'd like to introduce Josh Goldstein, co-founder at Underdog.io. We'll be moderating this talk. So enjoy. Please make sure you have your questions ready, and you can post in the chat at any time during the conversation.
Sweet. Thank you. I have a feeling there are probably some people with conference fatigue at this point, so we're going to try to keep this fairly informal. But we've got some slides if you want to maximize that part, or you can maximize one of us. So we're calling this talk Recruiting Startup Talent, Cracking the Code at Codecademy. So we've got 20 minutes to talk about how Codecademy leverages Underdog.io to hire the best candidates on the market. Looks like we've got 13 people. Cool. Oh, going up. All right, great. All right. So here are today's speakers. I want to thank Madison and Emma for joining. Guys, maybe you want to do a quick intro.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Madison. I'm one of the senior technical recruiters, along with Emma, of course, here online at Codecademy. I focus on hiring for multiple departments, including data science, design, engineering, marketing, and so forth. I've actually worked with Underdog at a couple of companies now, so we've been able to leverage their platform across different industries, and across different positions as well.
I'm Emma. I'm the other senior technical recruiter at Codecademy. I focus on recruiting for engineering, curriculum, sales, and community. And I've been at Codecademy for about 2 years. And before that, I was an agency recruiter for a number of years as well.
Thanks, guys. And I'm Josh. I'm one of the co-founders of Underdog. We started the business about 6 years ago, and we can get into that. The next slide. So what is Underdog? Underdog is we build software that helps growing companies connect with job seekers looking for meaningful work. The company has helped thousands of companies and tens of thousands of candidates since 2014, and we're 100% revenue funded. What does that all mean? Essentially, we are a curated marketplace, which means that candidates apply to the platform, and then we have vetting that takes place internally through both automation and manual curation. And then we pick candidates that we think would be a good fit for, and we share them on a weekly release cycle. From a company perspective, because I think most of the people that would be joining this would be people at companies looking to hire, the best way to think about it is it's a recruiting enablement tool. So we fill top of funnel with high quality startup talent. And we define startup talent as technical, product, and business people. Most companies are nowadays are technology companies, and so we work with small startups, we work with big enterprise companies, basically anybody who's looking to hire quote unquote startup talent, technical people, engineers, product managers, product designers, data scientists, and business people. We've been focused on New York City and SF as our two main regions, but we also work with remote companies, and that is now becoming a much bigger piece, I think, given COVID. So let's move here to what is Codecademy. Maybe you guys want to take this one.
Sure. So as the slide notes, we're a web and mobile-based platform that teaches employable digital skills, focusing on technical skills, coding across the board, across different types of career paths. We've helped a significant number of people have millions of users across the platform, and with the ultimate goal of helping people to upgrade their careers with accessible and flexible education. We are a Series C company and currently have 40 million in VC funding overall.
Awesome. Okay. All right, so Codecademy had a problem back in 2018. They were looking to grow. I think Emma, you were kind of the main person over there. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about that problem.
We started using Underdog actually prior to when I started at Codecademy, but it was during a time when we were in a really rapid kind of growth phase. Really had hired a pretty new VP of engineering at that point to the company, and we're really trying to like scale up that team with that new hire. And also that was when we were really growing our pro product, which is the core product now. So we really needed to hire a lot more engineers, and with that also scale product and design to fit that growth on engineering. So we really just needed a lot more candidates in the top of the funnel. We're a relatively small company and we don't get like massive amounts of, so we were always doing outbound sourcing, but looking at other kinds of paid platforms and other avenues for getting candidates, and found Underdog, and have signed up for just like the weekly emails.
Cool. So yeah, so as Emma is foreshadowing, we started really working with Codecademy, more in earnest in 2018. And so during that time, the company was on a deal with us where they were using, I think, other resources as well. And I think they found success, hiring a number of senior engineering people, one engineering manager, 2 senior engineers, and then interestingly also a performance marketer.
Yeah, and I
right?
think for us, I know we're kind of foreshadowing again. There's a subscription model, but I think as a startup that was a little bit strapped for cash at the time, we were apprehensive about signing up for something like that. So we liked that, like, we can start off in a contingency model, and like if it works, then we pay a fee. But if it doesn't work, we don't have to pay anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, that kind of, I should explain, Underdog offers both options for pricing, for payment. So if you wanted to be on Underdog and pay only if you make a hire, that is one option. Or if you wanted to kind of lean into the product and be on what we call our all-you-can-hire plan, you could do that as well, where you have like one upfront payment and then you can try to make as many hires as possible. And so in 2019, Madison, you joined, and then the company, having seen some success, decided to move over to the all-you-can-hire model. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I joined the company in 2019, I noticed that we were making some hires from Underdog and thought, it could be beneficial for us to, now convert ideally to this all-you-can-hire model. One of the reasons for that as well is, in that sense, previously it had been considered more a part of, our sort of agency spend overall, since we were still paying a certain percentage per hire. And so we thought about this as a potential way to help us reduce that spend, as we're looking, as all companies are looking for ways to potentially cut costs when possible or when it makes sense. And, since Underdog, since I initially used the platform, has continued to expand, the different types of candidates that are on the platform. I think originally, business development wasn't necessarily encompassed there, or, wasn't as heavy of a focus on product, which includes like data science, design, and so forth. And so it made sense for us to, form a partnership to, see who we might be able to hire off of it, and has really allowed us, I think, to leverage the platform with other departments that we might not have been able to utilize more, as sort of outside resource spend on, which has been great. And, the ability for our hiring managers to be able to log in and also receive the newsletters and batch candidates is super helpful, keeps them engaged in the hiring process. And overall, we found some really, high quality candidates coming into the pipeline. And I think our hiring managers who might not have been as familiar with Underdog previously, have really been kind of surprised in a way, as far as the types of candidates that we've been able to convert from Underdog.
Oop, I went back. Did I miss one? Nope, I didn't. Okay, we're good. I did it again. Okay. Oh, we're getting questions too. One from Drew, one from Eddie. Let's answer those because I don't want to. We've got 9 minutes. I want to make sure we answer everybody's questions. Drew, you're also a customer, so so you're just. Okay, so Eddie asked, how would we differentiate Underdog from other startup job platforms? I think Underdog is, well, we could ask Madison and Emma how they think about it, but I think a lot of our customers think about it as a place to go to find high quality startup talent in a really simple and easy, like digestible format. And so a lot of the other job platforms that are out there, at least when we were building the product initially, it was like, it felt as though most of the products that were out there were very clunky and heavy-handed. And so the goal was to build something really simple. But the thesis was that the best company should always be hiring, and so that they could plug into high quality startup talent. Even if they weren't necessarily a startup, that would be really valuable. And so, 6 years in now, I think, you guys could probably talk a little bit about how easy it is each week to just kind of get a hold of candidates. But that's kind of always been the core thought is, let's make this really simple. Let's show high quality people. Let's get out of the way, and try not to bug anybody through the process. Emma or Madison, do you have anything to add there? I feel like I talked for a while. I'm not sure if that was okay.
I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then Drew asked, where do you find your talent to present on Underdog? So that is also another differentiator for us. About 70% of our candidates come to us through word of mouth. I think the other platforms out there do a ton of ad spend and actual sourcing. And with us, we've kind of always wanted to have, we've learned that like the flywheel, if we build the product easily and simply, candidates tell their friends. And so it's all about like increasing that flywheel. We don't want to add to the spam and the recruiter spam in the world. So we haven't built like a team of sourcers. I think there are other products out there that do that. But yeah, that answers that. Chris, my co-founder, Chris asked a question to you guys. How has the hiring process at Codecademy changed now that it's all virtual? Are you seeing any big changes in the top line hiring metrics and conversion rates? That's a loaded question.
Emma, I don't know if you feel differently, but I feel like it's a little early for us to tell. I think we'll have a lot more indication, I think, soon, over the next couple of months as we continue to do all virtual hiring and onboarding as well. But yeah, so I don't think we necessarily have specifics there as far as how the metrics have changed overall.
Yeah, I would say pretty much the same thing. We've still been hiring, we've still been onboarding people. It has been a little bit different, and I think now a lot of candidates are very much like, oh, I expect it's going to be a little bit different. The main interview that we are struggling with a little bit is like the whiteboarding interviews. They're just not quite the same remote, but other than that, we're able to do everything over Zoom. And onboarding, we have to like physically mail people things, but other than that, it's totally fine.
Right.
How many people have you guys onboarded since COVID started?
15 or more.
Yeah, 15 is going to be my guess as well.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a few. 20 plus. Yep.
Our HR person is in the comments and said 20
plus.
I love it.
Quite a few. So we had a slate of people who had come into the office, had met with us in person, but ended up onboarding remotely, which was not initially expected during, when they accepted their offer initially, of course. And then now have had quite a few people who have interviewed fully remotely and onboarded remotely as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. Maybe you guys want to talk just briefly, one of the points here, hiring is now a team sport. You want to talk a little bit about like how you guys go about digesting our weekly batches of candidates and how, essentially how, using Underdog could potentially make things a little bit more collaborative?
Yeah, sure. I'll start off. So as far as, how this makes things a little bit more collaborative, I think, again, having our hiring managers be able to log into the platform as well as, receive the weekly sort of batches of candidates as well as the weekly newsletters sort of helps keep them engaged. It's much easier for them to sort of receive a batch of candidates that are put in front of them that they know have already been vetted in some way, for them to sort of click out from that email and things like that. I think is a lot easier for them to sort of digest rather than having to go into the ATS and sift through resumes or sift through other comments there. And then in addition to that, the weekly newsletters, that provide different headlines that are relevant for the industry, but also, as far as rankings for weekly interviews, for example, they definitely don't hate seeing our name in the top 3, as happens not infrequently. So I think, that's another way I think that kind of helps them remember that Underdog is a valuable platform for us to use and for them to engage with.
The only thing I would add there is I think another thing that's great about Underdog is that the people we reach out to on Underdog are responding to us. So like if one of our hiring managers says that they saw someone on Underdog and they want to talk to them, we know we can make that happen, which is great for us as a recruiting team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the response rates you guys have, we looked, are really, really high. You guys are doing a really good job. What Madison was talking about earlier was something we call Rough Notes, which is a newsletter that we send out once every 2 weeks with things that we're reading in the industry, and then we also rank all of the companies based on candidate surveys from the last 2 weeks, and Codecademy has been in those rankings quite a bit. And Chris just posted a link to the newsletter. So Scott asked, what does the Underdog vetting process look like? Good question, Scott. Like I mentioned earlier, it's both manual and some automation. We've built a grading rubric over the last 6 years and iterated based on candidate feedback and customer feedback and company feedback. But we're looking at everything from where did someone go to school, or have they worked, what is their career progression, all of the typical things that a hiring manager might look at, to smaller things like what did they title their resume, or what email provider are they using. We love digging into code, so we'll go through someone's GitHub if they have one, and seeing what projects they're working on, actually trying to like understand the code. So do they have documentation? Do they have tests written in their code? For designers, we'll go through portfolios. For everyone else, we'll look through social accounts, blog posts. And so we're building scores on everybody internally, and it's based on this proprietary grading rubric that we've kind of built up over time. All right, we're almost out of time here. Was that the next? Yes. Okay. Okay. So quickly, we've been known to reduce costs 30 to 60%, especially on the subscription side. So what Codecademy is exactly what they're doing. And then we've had some customers tell us that we're saving them about a day's worth of sourcing work. Oh, nice. We won't get kicked off. I thought we would. That's great. You can see here there's a short snippet of a screenshot of what the product looks like with some fake candidate data. Interesting to point out, we have some ATS integrations. There's powerful Boolean search built into the product for people who love to use that. That you can manage your team. There's admin tools, and then, as I mentioned before, there's obviously the key here is there's vetted active candidates that are wanting to talk to really awesome companies that are growing. All right, awesome. And then, yeah, if anyone wants to talk, you can email us here. You can go to Underdog. You can check out our LinkedIn. I think we made it. Any other questions from the audience? No. Cool. Thanks, Eddie. I want to thank you guys, Madison and Emma. You guys, we really, really appreciate you guys joining us. Being partners with you guys has been awesome. we love working with you guys. And yeah, thank you so much for doing
this. Thanks for having us.
We love working with Underdog. So
cool. You guys are the best.
All right. Thanks, everybody.